We've been covering the shoot down of the Malaysian plane all morning long, and we know that means a lot of kids will be exposed to some difficult images either on TV or social media. So we wanted to bring in our parenting expert, Dr. Robyn Silverman, for some guidance. And let's start out with some older kids, especially, you know, we can turn off the TV, but they're on Twitter, they're on Facebook. What do you do about it?
Right. To think that we can turn off the TV and the teens are not going to see it, it means we're in the dark. So make sure your teen knows if you're curious and you're seeking out the images, or you see images that are disturbing or concerning, please come to me. Understand that when you come to me, we can sit down and talk about it. I can answer questions, and we can also go to credible news stations and find out what's really happening.
So that's what the older said. I keep thinking, because I can't help it, just keep staring at your sweet girl, Harper, who's here, George's daughter, has been in the studio with us all morning long, and sometimes she comes from time to time, and I just think about that age group. How do you talk to them?
Right, and I have a 4- and a 5-year-old, right. So that's really poignant for me as well. The young children, we need to think of 3 things. The first is the words we choose. They need to be age appropriate. They need to be short and sweet, and you need to answer the questions. Make sure you're underscoring safety. Number 2, your voice. Make sure it's calm. Kids are going to react to your reaction, so make sure that you're not echoing the emotion of the story in the same way you would with a friend. And then finally, be there for them. Understand that these kids need to know that after the conversation closes, the door remains open for future conversations.
And only give them as much information as they want.
Exactly.
Ask the questions, answer, and keep moving.
Exactly. You're not talking to a friend, you're talking to a young child.
It's so hard to explain it. I mean, there is no explanation that a 9-year-old, I think of my daughter Kate, or even a 12-year-old like my son, can wrap their heads around. And I know you're telling us what to do. It's just how to find the right words,
right.
I think, is what causes me anxiety.
Right, exactly. And some children are going to be really anxious, and understand that if they're extremely anxious, make sure to bring those words down, answer the questions just as they ask them. Yes, the plane went down. Yes, there were people who died. Yes, we are doing everything we can. The adults who are in charge are doing everything they can to make sure that they address the problem.
What about limiting social media, just keeping them off of their devices, because there are so many other images that show up that we would never want them to see?
You know your child best. So if you know your child is prone to those nightmares, you know your child gets extremely anxious, then tell them this is for your own good. But understand it's very hard to limit media. So the best thing is to make sure they're media savvy, and that you are there for them to help them understand what's really going on.
A final thing here, Robyn, about flying. I was at LAX, it just seems like a couple hours ago, getting back here. There were some anxious parents, yes, with their children.
Yes.
What do you say if your child is anxious now about flying?
Right. They need to know that this kind of incident is extremely rare, that this is not the typical, and that everybody's doing what they can to keep everyone as safe as possible. Right. If your child needs more information, show them how planes work, have them talk to a pilot friend, but understand that you are there for them, you love them, and everybody's doing what they can to make sure those children are safe.
Good advice there.
Great advice. Thank you, Robyn.
Thank you.